Hey guys, Zach here from Minimalscapes, and today I've got a different style video for you than my usual build videos. In this video, I will explain to you how I like to store my plants more long-term, as well as store my plants short-term for when I'm switching between tanks or rescaping a tank. So to start off, when I rescape a tank, so as you can see behind you, I've got this cube here, this one, and I've got this little snail forest here, as well as my bowl. When I rescape these, you have to take out the plants, you can just throw all your plants into a 5-gallon bucket. This isn't gonna hurt the plants at all. Any stem plants are gonna be just fine. And you can really take your time, because if you throw them in a 5-gallon and you fill it up with water, they're gonna be good for, I would say, a week, maybe 2 weeks. I've done this before. And I still even have some valve floating from a couple scapes ago. Really no big deal. The plants are going to survive just fine. You don't need to put any lighting on them. It's kind of like simulating a blackout for a tank. A blackout helps to get rid of algae, and plants are perfectly fine being in the dark for a couple of days. No big deal, no harm, no foul. Now, if you're thinking about storing your plants for longer than that, maybe a month or two or a couple of months, or you just want to propagate plants and you just don't have tank space, or maybe you really like a plant and you just want it to go and you want more of it and you just can't seem to get it growing in your tank, or any variety of reasons, this is something that I would recommend to try. You might have to fine tune it. Yours might be a little different than mine, but this is just a general idea. In front of you, right here, is a Rubbermaid bucket that I've put aqua soil in. This is just basic aqua soil, about an inch deep. You don't need any more. And then this is a 6-liter bucket, or Rubbermaid, and it's filled with water, as you can see. In here, I've got plants. These plants I'm thinking of keeping here for a couple months. My goal is to try to propagate them in this container and hopefully get a whole new bunch of plants. As you can see, I've got, right here is some jungle val, right here is some Enthenanthera, I believe it's called. I've got some limnophila here, I've got hairgrass here, and I've got Liliopsis brasiliensis right here. Now these are quite different, as 3 of them are background plants and 2 of them are foreground plants. Ideally, with your background plants, you're going to want maybe a taller container if you're thinking of growing them taller. I just want to get as many plants as I can. So what I'm going to do is, when this limnophila and this Enthenanthera grows, I'm going to cut them and I'm going to replant them right next to each other. This is going to create a bunch of stems that are only about 2 to 4 inches long. And then I'm going to plant them into a new tank and just let them grow out. And this works really well. What you can also do with this is, maybe you're not comfortable having the water inside of your Rubbermaid. So what you can do is only fill up to just above the dirt. So the dirt is covered in water, but the rest of it is empty and full of air. This might wilt away some of your plants, but what you're going to want to do is you just plant them in there, keep the lid for this, put the lid on, and mist it every day. If you do that, depending on the plant, you can have success. Crips, Nubius, Java fern, hairgrass, Liliopsis, a lot of them do quite well in that immersed environment. And as long as they're misted properly, they can grow, But if you have plants that have been in water for a long time without having that immersed growth, you may run into some problems. So I would say do a little bit more research before you decide to do that. Another reason I've chosen a Rubbermaid container for storage is because of the wire rack that I have for my substrate and hardscape decor. As I'm not using all of the shelving on it, I've decided that I've put my volcanic beach hexagon tank up there, and I'm going to put this up there as well, since I have one light bar to run across, and this is an effective way to store plants in an efficient manner. Now, as you can see, I've transferred this over to my wire rack, and I've got a little jar and the little volcanic beach here. This wire rack is just housing all my hardscape here, as you can see. And this is gonna sit here perfectly fine, undisturbed, and I'm just gonna let the plants grow and hopefully propagate. And I've just got one LED aquarium light going over the whole thing. So this is a relatively inexpensive way to store plants. So if I take a step back, as you can see, I've got space right here that I'm going to do another one of these for, so that I can have lots and lots of plant storage. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.